Bears State of Affairs 2023 NFL Season Week 3. What's happening, Barflies? Well, Week 2 of the NFL season is come and gone, and the Bears are 0-2 heading into Arrowhead this weekend to play the world champion Chiefs. Last Sunday, the Bears traveled to Tampa Bay to play the Buccaneers and lost 27-17, a game in which the Bears had a chance to tie the game or win in the fourth quarter when they trailed 20-17. Those chances quickly evaporated when the Bears called three straight screen passes inside their own 10-yard line, the last of which was intercepted by Tampa Bay defensive lineman Shaq Barrett and returned for a game-winning touchdown. So where are we, Bears fans? I'll tell you where we are. We are no longer between panic and patience after Week 2. We are firmly in panic mode, as the Bears have lost 12 games in a row, and in those 12 games, they have scored less than 25 points each time. They are the first team in NFL history to accomplish that feat. Yep, we're setting the wrong kinds of records now. The Bears are 0-2, going on the road to Arrowhead Stadium as 13-point underdogs. The team is desperately trying to avoid falling to 0-3 on the season against the defending Super Bowl Chiefs. Good luck with that. The Bears' next loss will be their 13th in a row. Yeah, it's time to panic. At his press conference after the Buccaneers game, Matt Eberflus immediately shot down a question about whether he was worried about his team's morale by saying, "There's nothing there. We're steadfast, we're straightforward, and we're all in this together, as coaches, as players," Eberflus said. "We are looking at a great Wednesday practice and looking toward Kansas City. That's what we're looking at." Where have we heard this before? Oh, yeah, from every Bears head coach after Mike Ditka. It's the same old garbage that every Bears coach who knows he's in dire straits always says. Just once I'd like to hear the coach say, "We suck. None of us, players or coaches, did anything to help the team win. I feel like beating the shit out of everybody in the building. This week of practice will be worse than the ninth circle of hell. Every assistant better shape up or get the fuck out of here. I will cut anybody who isn't playing hard or doesn't want to be here." Look, I'm done with this coaching staff. I've seen enough. I'm certain that we will never read the headline, "Matt Eberflus coaches the Chicago Bears to a Super Bowl victory." That will never happen. So Coach Flus, he's just wasting his time, wasting our time. Like I said last week, Coach E needs to polish up his resume. This is the same feeling I had with Matt Nagy and his staff during Nagy's second season with the Bears. Coach Eberflus and his staff are in over their heads. They're guys who believe they could do the job. They can't. We're headed toward losing our 13th game in a row. These coaches don't have any answers because they're learning on the job like every other Bears coach we've hired. The front office, they don't have any answers either. Ownership, don't make me laugh. The owner is literally 100 years old. I'm not making that up. The current Bears regime is not sustainable. Let me tell you why I'm out on this Bears coaching staff. After week 1, the results were so bad that defensive coordinator Alan Williams took a mental health day or called in sick. I don't know. But that left play calling duties on defense to head coach Matt Eberflus on Sunday. After week 2, the results may have been worse. In Tampa Bay, ironically playing his version of the Tampa 2, the Bears defense gave up over 400 yards of offense to Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers. After week 1, Jalen Johnson said the Bears needed to go back to the drawing board. We went back to the drawing board after week 1. It was only week 1. What are we going back to now after week 2? A magic drawing board? Maybe one that has all the answers? Like this week, Johnson had this to say about quarterback Justin Fields. Quote, "I know he's not himself." Bears fans, we also know he's not himself. We can see it. That's why we're panicking. The data is out there. Justin Fields rushed for 1,143 rushing yards in 2022. That was the second most total in NFL history at the position. Fields also threw for 2,242 yards, 17 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions in 15 starts. So far, through 2 games, Fields has completed 60% of his passes for 427 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and only 62 rushing yards. His mechanics look off. His drops are bad. His footwork is bad. He's throwing wobbly passes out there. He's thinking too much. It makes you wonder, what are we paying his quarterback coach to do? The Bears have broken the quarterback again. So I'm out on these coaches. And if you watched former Bears quarterback JT O'Sullivan break down the last two Bears games, you'll know why. If you haven't watched his breakdowns, you really should. He points out a lot of the things wrong with this Bears team. Offensive players not knowing their assignments. Fields not anticipating throwing before the man comes open. Fields holding the ball too long. Offensive linemen blowing protections and missing their blocks. Bad play design, terrible play calling, wide receivers not knowing the plays, the tight end playing laughably bad. There's a lot more. Just watch. You'll see. Now, the Bears will be better off firing the current quarterback coach and replacing him with O'Sullivan. I'll tell you this, I might be out on Ryan Poles, too. The Bears have not drafted a blue-chip player in years. The last guy was maybe Roquan Smith, and we traded him away as part of a rebuild. The last blue-chip left tackle, Jim Covert. The last blue-chip pass rusher we drafted, Richard Dent. Blue-chip cornerback, Peanut Tillman. Blue-chip quarterback, it's either Sid Luckman or never. Hell, it's possible there aren't any people alive today who saw Sid Luckman play, except maybe Virginia McCaskey. Do you see any blue-chip players on the Bears team now? Maybe Poles isn't the guy either. I've said for years we have to stop hiring first-time GMs who are learning on the job, and first-time head coaches too. Lack of success in the draft, year after year, becomes a record-setting 12-game losing streak. It becomes a carousel of coaching staffs. It becomes a long list of failed GMs and personnel yes men who swung and missed perennially in the NFL draft. It becomes a faithful fan base bringing out the boo birds in the very first game. The fans know. They can see the ineptitude. Why? Because this is a recurring theme for going on 40 years. The Bears are on life support after 2 weeks into this NFL season. Maybe the Bears coaches can fake it with Justin Fields and save their jobs for another season. I don't know. Maybe they can simplify the offense, Trubiskyfy it, or whatever. Who knows? I just know that Bears fans are hurting. And I think what hurts us most as Bears fans is that we were so high on Justin Fields being the guy who could break the decades-long period of suffering and failure at the quarterback position. And now we're teetering on the brink of another failed quarterback. And it isn't all the players' fault. A big part of all of this stagnation is the Bears organization's systemic failure at identifying, procuring, and developing what fundamentally is the most difficult position in sports to play. The Bears, like I said last week, have been unable for decades to draft and develop a quarterback. And maybe 40 years of failure and frustration at the quarterback position is too much for any young player to bear the weight of. And that is Bears' state of affairs. Stay tuned because in a few minutes, Dan and Aldo will be coming on with a very special guest for Bare Their Souls. Subscribe to the Barroom Network, hit the like button, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, bear down.